Hey everybody, welcome to the kitchen, and I hope that you are ready for today's Smackdown. Wusthof versus Paderno. Stay tuned and see what happens next. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? This is going to be insane. We just received 2 boxes, and in each box there was a tool, a very special tool that we've been looking for a long time. And so we're going to feature both of these tools today in the kitchen, and we're going to put them to the test. And so in one corner, we have, if you see the logo, we have the Wusthof Meat Tenderizer. Now, some of you may be familiar with Wusthof knives, some of their cutlery. Well, they also make a meat tenderizer, and we're gonna have an official weigh-in here in a second. But I want you to just take a look at this solid piece of stainless steel, full tang, triple riveted tool made by Wusthof. Man, this thing is heavy. I'm not sure how much it weighs, but it is heavy. Let's see what it sounds like. That is incredibly heavy. Okay, and in the other corner, we have from Paderno World Cuisine, coming to us from Italy. So we've got Germany versus Italy in the kitchen today. Paderno World Cuisine, we are looking at an Italian meat tenderizer. Okay, so first impressions on both. The Wusthof, in traditional Wusthof fashion, is sturdy. It's heavy. It feels heavy. It feels well made, well built. And as I'm looking at this Paderno, it's one solid piece of stainless steel. It's also very heavy for a meat tenderizer. Both of them are very different because it's balanced a little differently. But what you're looking at is an absolutely gorgeous kitchen tool. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, both the German and the Italian meat tenderizer just throw down a loud smack. And so both of them are screaming. And we need to know the weight. All right, so let's go ahead and weigh these bad boys in and see where they are. This is the Wusthof Meat Tenderizer, 1,344 grams. We're looking at 2 pounds, 15.4 ounces. And so just basically a half an ounce short of 3 pounds. And time for the Paderno, the Italian meat tenderizer. Notice how it's flat on one side. Let's see what this guy has to offer. 2 pounds, 10 ounces. So this is the underdog. It's a little bit lighter, and so it's just a little over 2.5 pounds. And it's time to put both of these guys to the test. And here's what we're going to do. We're making chicken cordon bleu today. We've got about 200 pieces of chicken we need to smash. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of alternate between both of those. And so what we've done is we've put in a plastic bag, a little bit of water, and if you want to make chicken cordon bleu at home, this is hands down the easiest way to do it, regardless of whatever meat smasher you use. All right, so we're using the Paderno first, and immediately I can tell that there's a lot of control that comes with this particular unit. The way that it's balanced, the way that you hold it really gives you a lot of control. And you're able to get these pieces really thin. Just under about a quarter of an inch thin without tearing the meat apart, which is absolutely critical when you're making, chicken cordon bleu. You don't want to destroy the meat. And so let's give it another shot. And what we're going to do is we're going to do, 2 or 3 pieces, and then we're going to switch 2 or 3 pieces. I do notice that because the handle is flat, you have to somewhat bang it at the edge of your counter so that you don't smash your fingers. depending on how you hit the meat. Look at that. For us, commercially, chicken cordon bleu, even chicken fried steak, anything that really requires any kind of meat tenderizing, a tool like this is absolutely critical because we do so many of them. And I am noticing that it is heavy. And I guess here towards the end of the video, we'll know how my arm is holding up to it because I'm the one exclusively doing the smashing. I'll wet the chicken, put it between the paper, and I just begin to popping it. And so I'm noticing that there's a forward stroke that comes along with this particular tenderizer. And if I smack it and pull away, I'm able to really thin that chicken out quite well. And pretty quick. See how that works? Wow, that's nice. Prior to using this, we were using a little, one of those typical hammers that you would find at the store that's got like one edge flat, one edge that looks like a medieval torture device, another one that looks like an even more medieval torture device. Let's do one more here before we get that German Wurststoff into action. I like the weight of this thing, man. This thing is nice. This thing really feels like it's doing a lot of the work. I'm probably holding it back just a little bit, but notice how I'm smacking it and I'm pulling it towards me. I'm smacking it and I'm pulling it towards me. And what that's doing is that's really distributing the protein without destroying the meat. But the surface area is incredible. And so it's given me a real sense of control as I'm hitting the chicken in this case. And these pieces are flattening out incredibly flat. I mean, super fast. And so what I'm doing is I'm flattening them out and I'm handing them to my wife. She's finishing the project, and then I'm going to give them to my son, and he's gonna batter and fry them. And so that's kind of, we have a little assembly line here going on. So now we're going to try the Wurststoff. We're going to try the Wurststoff and see if there's a difference. Immediately, there's a design difference. And so right off the bat, I can tell that, the handle is designed differently. And so I know I don't have to be as far to the edge of the table in order to use this this tool. Now, remember, this is about 6 ounces heavier than the other one. And you would think, 6 ounces, big deal, right? How much difference does that make? It actually feels a lot heavier. And I think it feels a lot heavier because the weight of it is primarily on the front end. And so you almost get the sensation that the meat tenderizer is doing a lot of the work for you. But what I do notice as I'm smacking it is that there's not as much control. So it takes a little more precision. You got to be a little more careful. Otherwise, if you hit it too hard or too much in the same spot, you can get a little nuts. You can get this thing to a couple millimeters thick if you're not careful. And so I'm finding that it takes less time to achieve the same result, but I'm having to do it slightly more cautiously. Whereas the Paderno, it takes a few more bangs, but I'm noticing that it's not, it's a little more forgiving. Now right here, I'm incorporating the same technique of hitting and sliding, and very quickly, you saw that, what was like 4 or 5 smashes, I'm able to get that thing ultra fast. So let's switch again, and let me show you this one. All right, there is only one side to hit, and that's the flat side. Make sure you're careful with your fingers. You don't want to smack them. You don't want to tenderize them. Let's do a final switch, and we're going to finish this project off with the Wurststoff. Rather than showing you, us tenderizing 200 chicken breasts, we did some highlights. Some came out really thin, almost unusable. The chicken breast wasn't very big, and the weight of the hammer in the very beginning just destroyed them. And so we realized, there was a definite technique that needed to be learned as we were using this. See how fast it flattens it out. I love putting it between those two Ziploc bags. Really makes it clean and easy. Easy to roll, actually. See, this one almost got out of control. Notice right there in the very center. See how flat that is? I could have easily destroyed this piece of chicken. Ooh, that was close. And now it's time for the results. So let's look at the Wusthof first. Now, Wusthof, familiar brand, great company. They make an incredible set of cutlery sets. Most people out there are familiar with their knives. It's well built. I mean, this thing is incredible as far as the construction of it. It looks solid. It looks like I can hand it down to my great-grandchildren, and they're going to be banging chicken and banging beef with it, and they'll even be able to hand it down. I mean, this is literally one solid piece of stainless steel that weighs just a hair short of 3 pounds. So the pros, I like the handle. I like the way that the handle is elevated off of the table. That means I'm not restricted as to where I'm using it. I can be in the middle of my table or the very end, and I'm not going to have to worry about hurting my hand. The weight of it is forward heavy, and so it's really doing a lot of work. So it requires a little bit of skill in getting to understand the tool. But once you get the hang of it, you're able to tenderize your meat pretty efficiently. Some of the drawbacks is also the fact that it is heavy and it does require a little bit of tenderness. Although it does work quicker, if you're not careful, you can over tenderize your meat and smack it a little too hard, and next thing you know, you're ripping it all to pieces. Although a quick correction in how you hit it will remedy that. And overall, it's a great product. 200 chicken breasts later, I love it. I feel stronger for using it. Let's talk about the Paderno. As you can see, Italian-made, great craftsmanship. Not quite as heavy as the Wusthof, but what an incredible tool. I love the fact that it is one solid piece. I love the fact that it's designed to where it's a little more balanced throughout the device, and you get a lot of control with this particular tool. So you're able to control how you hit it, control the force. You're able to slide it a little bit easier. I feel like the working surface is even a huge advantage to this. Some of the disadvantages, I don't like the fact that there's no handle on it, and so it does get a little slippery, although a quick wash will remedy that. And I did smash my fingers on the countertop because the shape of the handle, and as I was trying to smash it flat, the handle is completely flat. But the closer I moved to the edge, then that was quickly remedied as well. I did like the fact that I was able to get incredibly consistent results with the Paderno, and albeit it took just a tiny bit longer, and I'm talking seconds, you know what I'm talking about? But when you're doing 200 chicken breasts, those seconds add up. So anyway, am I happy with both? Absolutely. I think that both the Paderno and the Wusthof did an exceptional job. And so, look, at the end of the day, somebody's got to win out, right? There's got to be a clear winner. Let's take a look at the construction. You're looking at a very forward-heavy piece of equipment, stainless steel. Look at that. That's the Wusthof versus the Paderno. It's a little thinner, very heavy as well, but a little more balanced. And so you get an interesting balance of control. Overall, I hate to say this because I actually thought that I would like the Wusthof better. And don't get me wrong, because, I mean, the difference between the two comes down between a matter of preference and personal choice and technique and how you use equipment. But for me, by a fraction of a hair, I think that the Paderno really just inched its way right above that Wusthof right at the very end. And I'm not even talking about price. Neither one of these tools are cheap. They're both incredibly well built. I'm going to leave a link below to where I bought them, and you can see both of them are on Amazon, and they're just incredible products. If you are looking for a meat tenderizer, consider the Wusthof or the Paderno. Either one, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be happy with. And if you're in the business of smashing and meat tenderizing, and you may require some very specifics, but for home application, both of these are exceptional products. You're not going to get worn out too fast, and it's definitely going to do the job that you want it to do as far as tenderizing meats. And so I think they're both great. But for me, like I said, the Paderno wins out by a fraction. And, you know, this is kind of one of the end results of how we were using this particular product. And so what we did is we took about, 200 chicken breasts, wrapped them with ham and some cheese, went ahead and rolled them up, fried them, baked them, and we plated them up so that we can freeze it and turn this into a 2 guys in a cooler frozen chicken cordon bleu. Wow. A little smoked Gouda Mornay sauce over some blanched vegetables and 2 cordon bleu. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, maybe one day we'll do a video on how to make some freezer friendly meals, so that you yourself can stock your freezer up with some delicious entrees and not have to worry about what are you going to eat tonight. All right. So listen, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. And stay tuned, because we got some other really great videos for you all lined up. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Which one did you like? The Paderno or the Wusthof?